The story of Naaman. According to Kings 5 in the Bible, Naaman was a commander of the army of Aram. He was a good commander and was held in favor because of the victory that God brought him. However, Naaman suffered from a skin disease as known as leprosy. Naaman's wife had a servant girl from the northern kingdom of Israel, Samaria, who said that a prophet there would be able to heal him. Naaman tells his lord this, and he is sent to Israel with a letter to the king. The king of Israel did not know what to do, but Elisha sent a message to the king advising that the king tell Naaman to come to see him. Elisha then told Naaman to go bathe in the Jordan River 7 times and he would be clean. Naaman was angry and would have left, but his servant asked him to try it and he was healed. This story, though thousands of years old, follows some of the same reasoning and thinking that we have today, and it is noteworthy to point out the differences in this line of reasoning and the reasoning from the prophet Elisha, who had a double portion of spirit compared to his mentor, the powerful prophet Elisha. Honestly, if Elijah were around today, we would seriously doubt many would recognize them as prophets of the Lord. They just don't fit the mold of what we think of prophets. There was really no messing around with these prophets. They knew they were prophets. They knew they had message to carry, and they were both bold and blunt in their message. But we should get into that a bit later. To begin with this story, a little background is needed to appreciate the context. The children of Israel live in the divided kingdom. The 10 northern tribes form the kingdom of Israel, and 2 southern tribes form the kingdom of Judah. Elijah was a powerful prophet who was sent to call the people of Israel back to God. And Elisha was his successor who asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. When Elijah was taken up into heaven, his request was granted. What is interesting about this story's characters is that Syria, where Naaman was from, did not have good relationship with Israel. They were often fighting in war. The fact that Naaman has a servant girl from Israel would imply that she had been taken captive in the war. The king of Israel's reaction to Naaman's message shows the tension that was present between the two nations, as the king supposes that king of Syria is just looking for to fight. Nevertheless, Naaman does indeed find Elisha a very interesting person. Naaman was a very proud man. His status made him so. He won many victories in war. He had the utmost respect in his land. So, when Elisha did not see him directly, he was not happy. To make matters worse, Elisha sent him to go wash in the dirtiest river around. Naaman was about to walk away from his opportunity to live because he felt disrespected. Little did he know that This is just how God always works. He almost never does what we think He is going to do or what we think He should do. God has a way of challenging our thoughts, our pride, our regular way of thinking about Him. With every miracle, He stretches us to change. In surprisingly strange ways, our boundaries are pushed. One of the lessons that Naaman's story we can take away is that when we ask God for something, we should maybe leave ourselves open because we never know which direction God will come. Another one of the powerful lessons from the story of Naaman is what we can draw from his response to his servants. His story tells that although Naaman thought highly of himself, he was also a reasonable and logical man. He was humble enough to listen to those he led. Naaman's servants went to him and said, "My father, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, would you not have done it? How much more then when he tells you, 'Wash and be cleansed'?" God rewards complete obedience. Naaman dipped in the dirty water 7 times because he was instructed by Elisha to do so. The word used for dipped in Kings 2, it really means to plunge or immerse something or someone. This word is particularly used when describing dipping in water for purification, the purpose of sacrificing. When Naaman went into that water, he was all in. He completely submerged himself in that dirty water. He demonstrated his complete obedience and submission to God in his act. This was like a baptism for him. And guess what? He came out clean. Scripture says his skin was restored so that it looked like a baby's skin. Imagine that on a grown man who had been a warrior with too many scars to count. But there is more. Naaman was not just cleansed from leprosy, his soul washed as well. Finally, to conclude, the moral of the story of Naaman shows while Naaman was proudful, God expected him to walk with humility before him. Naaman submitted in faith and led in obedience. God miraculously cured his leprosy. God also expects us to walk in faith and lead in obedience. And Naaman responded with praise and humility before God after being restored. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and share the video to all your friends. Thank you.